All right, slot car fans, we're back at Hobbit Racing Park over at the race director's station where I do a lot of different miscellaneous things. This is billboards on a budget, or this is even what we'll call more practical billboards. If you have made a wood-routed track, whether you decided to use pliable thin beadboard or other for guardrails, or in the case of this track having plexiglass clear guardrails, it's not as practical to, say, purchase a billboard that was made by a hobby store. There's a couple out there that will make them for you. And in this particular case, this is definitely billboards on a budget, but again, billboards more practical, right? So nothing overly complicated here. I don't think we're ever going to get in trouble for, advertising freely for all of these brand names that are out there, right? These are officially licensed logos for different places that you find on the side of a real racetrack. So, send some to your printer. Space them however you like. Make them however tall they need to be. And then let's cut them out. That's the easy part. Now, if you have some kind of backer board that's pliable, that is your guardrail around the track, that would be more of like a commercial track, then you could certainly put them on the inside. Some might say if you're gonna, tape them around, and I'll show a technique in a little bit, that, this tape is gonna get scraped by plenty of tails coming around when we fishtail around the corners, and, the side of the car, and the wing is gonna, hit the tape and it might come loose. Okay, maybe, sure it might in some places, but again, this is billboards on a budget. So, bear with me on that factor. So at this point in time, I'm gonna cut a couple more of these out. Maybe we'll go 3 in a row. I gave myself the opportunity for 5. I don't think I'm gonna stick to putting 5 in a row. The practicality of the way that my track is, and I'm just eyeballing this. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I know exactly the spacing that I determined that I wanted it to be based on how tall the guardrail is and the places that I can put up these signs. In my case, there's a lot of practicality in racing, and on some folks' tracks, scenery is of critical importance to them. And I don't disagree with that factor. You want realism, certainly, but this track has always been performance-based first and foremost. And the last thing I want to do is have the club members come over here and tell me, well, Tony, now I can't see my car because you've created a place that used to be see-through with a clear guardrail to another point on the track beyond that guardrail where they can't see their car. Now again, are there plenty of tracks that folks have to deal with that? Sure, but that's never been a thing at this track, and it's not going to be going forward. And you'll see what I mean. There's going to be plenty of places for advertisement. So I've got 3 of these ready. We're going to go 3 in a row with Mobile 1, and you'll see where that's going to be in just a second. Okay, we're back with the tape in our hand and our Mobile 1 signs cut out. And I'm just going to do this as easy as I possibly can. I'm going to lay out the tape upside down because I have a clear barrier around my track. The clear guardrail means that I'm going to tape this from the backside. On the backside, you ask why? Well, it's actually rather simple. I'm just going to try and get a guide for straightness here also. But it's rather simple because if I tape this from the front, as I had mentioned before, well, then I run the risk of damaging the tape and having to repair that later. In my case, I get the best of both worlds. I'm going to get nice guardrail marks that have been made for years against the guardrail, but my signs will be on the other side of the plexiglass. So it's like the best of both worlds. The signs are going to live there forever, and so will the scuff marks of all the cars that have gone by. So let's give this a go and see if I can't be as careful as I can and place this as evenly as I can, one at a time. On the tape. There's number one. See if I can be good for the camera. Again, I'm using the MDF spare just as a marker to know that if I can see a little bit of the MDF, beautiful. One more will do the trick. There it is. All right. Mobile one, mobile one, mobile one. I'll be seeing it in my sleep tonight. Let's stop and take it to the track. And now, through the magic of editing, not only are we at the track, but I'm on the track. Well, I'm on the table anyway. And this is where things will become a little bit more obvious for the effort here. So the tape is transparent, yeah, it's transparent. Good one, Tony. The tape is transparent, so you can see it in the distance a little bit. Maybe if I bring it closer to the camera. I've exposed the tape obviously on purpose, as you saw when I put it on the MDF as my guide, so that I had a little bit on the top and a little bit on the bottom, and then I've given myself about 1.5 inches, 2 inches on the edge on both sides. My goal of the exercise is to simply get it as straight as possible right here up against the edge, so that I can go ahead and place it just so that you see mobile one above the track line. I may have to smooth that out, but I think my first shot here is pretty good. See what we did wrong here in just a second. And there you have it. Come in from the bottom. Make sure that's pressed nicely. Nothing overly complicated. Probably the most complicated thing that I've done here is bring my 6'2" frame back up on top of this track. And on the track table, I'll come back over here with a blade. Make some sense out of what I did over here. I think we're gonna go with BP or Dunlop, something that's gonna be smaller over here. But there you have it in a nutshell, right? Billboards on a budget. And then you get this wonderful, there's scrapes of cars going by it over and over and over again, but they're never going to make a mark in the Mobile One billboard because the Mobile One billboard is on the other side. So I get the best of both worlds. I get a refined, purpose-built retaining wall for the cars without having those exposed on the inside to be scratched and scuffed up. There you go.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and turn on the bell so you get a notification every time I post a new video. Bye everyone. Keep on racing. Bye.